The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Let me start off with a Twitch feed this morning, and I got to get the whole name right. Mile High Hockey Lab.
The city of Denver, the state of Colorado, you guys have been fucking amazing for the last 10 years.
Live from Spectrum Community Services Studios in Colorado, USA. This is the Mile High Hockey Lab.
Hello and welcome to the Mile High Hockey Lab. My name is Adrian Hernandez. I am here today with Ezra Parter, Evan Liu, Brennan Vogt, and Jackie K. It's a full slate, full cast of characters today. I love to see it, especially when we're this far away from the actual hockey season. I am so proud of all of us for still being here, locked in. Brandon's looking at me like he never left. Evan's looking at me like there's not a cat in the room yet, so we'll see about it. But thank you to the four of you for joining me for another edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. Please, folks, head on over to the website, milehighhockey.com. You can find all of our written material to include our top 25 under 25, which is screaming through it right now. We are, I believe, on the top 15 at this point, aren't we? Correct? Today is 12, Mr. Taylor McCarr. So go check that out, folks, if you are interested in hearing a little bit about the younger brother McCarr here in Colorado. And, of course, be sure to head on over to Hockey Mountain High as well for anything from Evan and Brennan. We got lots to talk about today, friends. It's
and
actually
savvy.
savvy. That's correct. That's correct. And it's a nice day for Avs hockey news, because it's been a couple of things since our last episodes. We've seen two signings, one a re-signing, and of course, just earlier this week, Victor Olofsson. Excuse me. There's a lot of Olofssons, and Oscars and Victors, but yes, the Avs did make a signing. Looks like he will slot right into the bottom six. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about Kiviranta, some updates to Altitude Plus, some funny things. It's going to be a great episode. So let's just get things rolling right off the rip. And I do want to start with the Kiviranta re-signing. So last time we had our talks, it was really largely, I posed the question, who's going to play the fourth line? And Jackie said, well, actually, brother, who's going to play the third line? Jackie, I'm going to start with you. Does it feel like we're getting a little bit of resolution as to who's going to play the third line? And are you satisfied?
Satisfied, no. I'm still on the I hope this team adds talent train.
Sure.
So it's not training camp yet, so there's still hope for that. But yeah, they at least have enough players now to start the season. So that was two signings they needed to make.
Uh-oh, I think we lost her. Well, yeah, we lost her, I think, it looks like. But I think I know where she was headed. You know, she's saying that it's a step in the right direction. Brandon, what are your thoughts? Where are we at on the third line right now?
Well, I like the fact that we got Kiwi back. He earned his contract. The fact that he's come back from coming off of getting cut on a PTO just baffles me. And he's a year-to-year guy. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he's fighting for his contract every year. So, it to me, is just, he's going to be one of those guys who's going to try and put out his best every season.
Yeah, he's a tweener. And unfortunately, that's how tweeners kind of get treated. Like, he almost, I mean, Kiviranta made it tough for the Avs by scoring goals. But Jackie, I want you to finish your thought on kind of where
Am
we're
I
at
back?
here. Yes, you're back.
I don't really know what the problem is, but
I don't know either, but you're back for now, so let's hear it.
okay. Well, I was saying I was hoping they would find an upgrade on him now. Like, the contract's fine. It's pretty cheap. I think for the goals he scored, the 1.25 it's fair. It's reasonable. But the thing is that it should have been him instead of Parker Kelly. So, and then when we get into the Olofsson signing, it should have been him instead of Kiviranta. So you're kind of like stacking up the decline of what they should have been doing. So it seemed like he caved, like maybe he was hoping for better and didn't get it. So like I said, I'm fine with it in a vacuum, but they still need better players. So that's kind of the issue with that.
Yeah, so you're basically saying, like, in a world of players on a totem pole, they're starting lower on the totem pole than you would have liked to see for some of these roles.
I think everything, like the whole, like, oh, Drury's just the 3C, like, that's a problem too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he gets there because of injury, I think that's fine. I think it's a good opportunity for him if that happens. If you go into this season thinking that that's what he is, exactly, you're already way too far down the totem pole talent of what they're going to need and the roles that people are going to have to step into. Now, yes, do they have a third line right now? I guess so. But does this put Colton back in the middle? I know that maybe they don't prefer it, but Colton's going to play 3C before Drury does.
I agree. I think he should, definitely, yeah.
So if the idea was to keep Colton at the wing, you still need a real 3C. You still need... So basically, I think they're missing a whole line. I think an entire line is higher than it should be.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we were at in the last episode, and that hasn't changed for you because of what you're mentioning. I really think the
second line should be the third line too.
Gotcha.
Like, not Nichushkin, he's definitely second line. But if you had Landeskog and Lehkonen on a third line to start, I know they're not third liners, but if you stack your roster, that's what you have on day one. Mm-hmm. Then you have depth. That's when you have depth. That's when you have depth to win a championship.
Well, to your credit, we were drooling over Lundell in the Stanley Cup final, and he is the third liner. Exactly. And obviously, he played some second line role, and was. But the real factor of it was you saw just how deep the Panthers were. And I'm not going to argue with you. I think a world where you can have three better forwards than Lehkonen and Landeskog and company, like, that is a very hard thing to realize, I think. But that is an idealistic approach in my mind. Brendan, I want you to finish kind of your thought. You started talking about Kiviranta and how he's one of those guys who has to earn his contract year in and year out. And you felt like he had done enough to earn the contract from the Avs way before this. Is that kind of what I'm interpreting there?
Well, he was the one who got pulled up when Lecky got hurt with his shoulder, and he was starting to prove himself with the Eagles. So I was seeing a lot more. I saw 10 more games than everyone else saw, of course. But and he was at that prove me point with the Eagles that just said, it's like, okay, I'm either gonna make it here or I'm not gonna make it at all. So. And the fact that he had to earn that extension again, and then again, but he shopped the market, so good for him. And he got the raise, and good for him. The third line, I think, with Olofsson on there is going to be a huge improvement. Now, of course, with Colton Puckpedia's got Colton as the center, and I don't think that's going to be how it is going to be drawn up. I think Kelly's more likely going to be a center than Colton.
I mean, that's traumatizing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be Kelly and Drury as the center, and then maybe Kiviranta drop down to the fourth line, possibly. But that's just me. And that would leave that left wing open. So, but I like the third line. So it's going to have some good production on there. So in my opinion.
The thing that worries me about making somebody who's usually a wing play the center is, like, I think we can all agree depth up the middle is more important than depth on the wings, just on a numbers level. But not only that, like, the person and this play style you're looking for is far more particular for a 3C, 4C than it is for a third or fourth line winger. And so I think, like, when you're slotting a winger into that role, you're not saying, like, oh, look, we have 5 centers. You're saying we have no one to play center right now. We have yeah, and I doubt that there's really 6 centers on this team. Is kind of my point. Like,
Everybody
6
can
bona
play
fide
center.
NHL.
Do they
Exactly.
really have? Do they really have more than one?
Yeah, that's
McKinnon.
Yeah, exactly.
I said more than one.
Yeah, I think Nelson's a bona fide 2C.
But
I
think honestly, I think Evan should put his 2 cents in on the Victor Olofsson signing, because he's the one who wrote our article in haste, no less, before he went out with his without his girlfriend. So I think he should put his 2 cents in for our side.
Evan, I feel like Evan's, like, slowly drifting to the dark side. Like, Evan's takes on the Avalanche. Like, you remember how I was at the end of the season. Like, I was full Anakin, and there Ezra was looking at me, telling me I was the chosen one, and I was ready to just fall into the lava. Evan, you're kind of like, I feel like you're hearing mutters of the dark side right now, because more of your articles are written in haste than ever. Tell me why you wrote this Victor Olofsson signing in haste. Excuse me.
Which, I don't know why Brennan's calling me out. I didn't write it in haste. I was writing it in a rush because it was my last night in Denver last night.
That sort of haste. Got it.
So no, I'm very much the opposite of hasting or hating the Olofsson signing. I love it.
I'm not saying that he hates it. I'm just saying that he wrote it and then was like out the door to.
Got it.
I had
that sort of haste.
Stuff. Yeah.
Well, I stand by what I said, though.
No, I really like the signing of Olofsson, and that first reported 800,000 number by Jay Fresh, I think, got all of us really excited. We were like, oh my gosh, like that's pretty much half a point a game that you're getting out of Victor Olofsson, which is pretty good. Like, even the official number is now 1.575. I mean, that is still a good number altogether, and that is much better than I think Kiviranta is. And Kiviranta's had his moments, but I think the big difference too with Olofsson is that he's been multiple 40-point seasons, and those included with the Buffalo Sabres. We all know how the Sabres are. And most importantly, last year to his game with Vegas, he got a lot better defensively. That's always something that he kind of struggled with up until last year with Vegas. His first playoff appearance, I feel like, went pretty well. So it kind of fits the mold a little bit to an extent of what Jared Bednar and his staff are looking for. And I think that that's something that they would like to utilize, and they can get potential out of that. If he can be a 40-point scorer on the Buffalo Sabres, I think he could definitely do that with the Colorado Avalanche.
And that
was question is his health.
Was that the year Tage Thompson went crazy too?
Yeah, that was.
Gotcha.
I think that was the year Buffalo was.
They missed the playoffs by like
scoring.
A point.
Buffalo was third in the league in scoring.
And Buffalo missed the playoffs
that year. So, scoring really isn't Buffalo's problem. I think the whole thing with we should stop taking Jay Fresh seriously, because first of all, putting that placeholder for the pay was just completely stupid, and then the whole his defense is amazing now. Let's not completely take that seriously. I looked up his actual numbers. Yes, they were decent with Vegas, but that's kind of that's what Vegas is. They're a good team, and so that's going to look like that in their model. He was terrible defensively in Buffalo. That's one reason why they didn't keep him.
But
I think the truth is probably more in the middle? Yes. I think, yes, it's fair that we judge him outside of Buffalo, but the whole he figured the defense out. He's a great defensive player just because Jay Fresh has the pretty chart colors going in the right direction. No, let's ease back off of that. let's stop taking Jay Fresh seriously and using that as like evidence.
Yeah, I think it's something to take into consideration, but I think anyone who's doing an appropriate job of analyzing hockey uses all the tools in the bag, not just one of them. And I think Jay Fresh just poses and offers up a tool. And with that, you take it with a grain of salt when you find it appropriate. And I think in situations like this, it is the perfect example of when to take a freaking beautiful colored chart, like you say, Jackie, with a grain of salt. And it's always the case when you're playing for the Buffalo Sabres. And I know that seems like a cop out, but you spoke to the opposite side of that, Jackie, in your initial point, which is that he performed well in a good system on a good team with Vegas. And I think that there's potential for that here in Colorado. If there's anything that we can agree upon, at least outside of the power play, the approach seems to be good. The system itself seems to work. It's just finding the right guys and also bringing out the right things in the guys you have to fit that system.
I think the problem was not just the numbers, because I agree Buffalo's going to depress everyone's analytics, but I just remember his intensity, the try-hardness, the forechecking, the defensive commitment, I think were the issues. So those are things that Bednar is not going to be able to deal with. So fingers crossed, but I'm not just saying that he was a bad defensive player, because I saw expected goals under 45% for Buffalo. Because I saw the characteristics that make me worry a little bit. But like I said, it's a low risk thing. To me, it's a lot like the Tatar signing. Hey, it didn't work out. They even traded him for a pick. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing. He might be better than Tatar, but it's very similar to that to me.
I hope so.
Well, this is a perfect. Go ahead, Ezra. Sorry.
I'm going to jump in. That makes sense. I feel like he's either going to be Tatar or Evan Rodriguez, and there's really no middle ground. It's either it really works and he is good defensively when he plays on a good defensive team, or it really doesn't and he needs to go. I can't see any middle ground here because he is such a specific player. But I think what's encouraging is he played to the identity of both teams. In Buffalo, he was no calorie offense, or empty calorie. That's what I wanted to say. Empty calorie offense, no defense. And in Vegas, he was a good worker and he played good defense. So I think if he can play to the identity of Colorado, that'll be helpful. He has all the physical tools. So if he's just playing the way that the team wants him to play, I mean, Buffalo probably wanted to be more effective defensively, but they were never able to. So he was doing exactly what they do. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. I'm kind of excited about it because, like you said, he either flames out and gets traded away for something, which we all know the Avs need more picks, or it works. And, maybe this time around he's an Evan Rodriguez that sticks.
Yeah, I like that comp. I like the Evan Rodriguez comp, but to Jackie's point, if he's an Evan Rodriguez, he's got to be that guy who's throwing the body and getting there first and all those things. Because that's even in his success, his Stanley Cup success, those are the things that he's bringing to the table. And I for one am I'm excited because I see the offensive upside, and I think it's not as simple. Talent doesn't just come down to who can score, but it certainly doesn't hurt. And I for one think he could have maybe a Berkey sort of, maybe not to that level of scoring acumen and shooting ability, but in terms of production coming from a lesser role, I think he can really supplement some production that the Avs have been hungrier for than I think people are willing to admit. I think the Avs have been a lot top heavier these last couple of years than people are really willing to acknowledge in terms of offensive production. So I think that we can start to see that level out a little bit, be more in the ilk of what we saw in 2022. Jackie, go ahead.
I do have a question. Do you guys see Olofsson replacing Mikko on the power play?
No.
Mikko?
Yeah, Mikko.
No. He'd be a second.
Why? They don't
he'd
have
be a second unit guy if he's lucky.
Why?
He is a left shot. He did play in Vegas on the power play and did that play that Mikko runs over and over again. No, he was on their second
who do the
unit. Avs
have that has that shot? That's gonna.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be Nelson.
And is running from the Finnish military.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I think Nelson on the top power play, and it makes sense, but not in that role. I think if they're trying to maximize the top power play, Nelson does belong in the middle somewhere. Probably the bumper spot. If they're going to keep you.
Assuming they still have Netjes, I think it'd be Netjes and Landeskog on the power play in the middle.
Yeah, I like not just in the middle is interesting. I like Landeskog there for sure. Of course.
Landy's going to play the wheelman on the top power play unit if it's not Lehkonen.
I mean, really, because Drouin did it, and Drouin, in terms of his contract, was very comparable to what we're looking at right now with Olofsson, in the sense that like he played in roles that were well above what he was being paid. Whether or not he was successful in those roles is one thing, but to my point is that the Avs are comfortable with something like that. They're not just like, oh, well, he's a $7 million player, he better be on the top power play. No, they like to put in guys that make whatever system they're going for work. Otherwise, Drouin's not there, to be honest with you.
Olofsson even makes more sense than Drouin because he brings a skill set that the power play lacks as a left shot shooter.
Yep.
But I still, I don't know. It seems like it's going to be Netjes, McKinnon, Makar, Landeskog, and then.
I could see
crazy
they
not to have
Nelson
Nichushkin.
first.
It's crazy not to have Nelson. There's so many guys who have so much skill, and bring more of the like puck retrieval grit that the power play needs to give pucks to Makar McKinnon.
Colton was on the second unit a lot last year too, just because he could work that front of the net.
Yeah. The second unit, I don't even, unless they show me that they're going to use it, it's not even worth talking about.
Yeah, right. 20 seconds on the ice.
Mic drop from Ezra early on into the broadcast. Like, if we're gonna see 10 seconds of the second unit, we're not gonna talk about it for 20 minutes. That's for damn
there's
sure.
like Burns discourse on the power play. I'm like, Burns is not seeing the power play. There's no.
If they want to give Kale a break, maybe.
I think I'd rather see Burns than Taze. I don't think Taze is anything special on the power play.
Yeah, I love him jumping up into the offense on at 5-on-5, but he's not that creative from the point. So I have to agree with you. I like Gerard though.
Yeah, I like that little play that they were running when it worked, but then it stopped working, and so now it's just not quite as fun with the two defenders. And I'm like, if you're gonna do it there, like, I mean, geez, just do it on the top group, I guess. But here's my thing. Just to my point about Buffalo being terrible, I've been working on, this is a great plug for me because I'm really excited about this tongue-in-cheek article that Jackie's allowing me to put out on Sunday. Basically, it's like, if you ever seen the episode of The Office where Michael Scott comes back in and he just starts roasting everybody in the room. I've done an article that is a 32-team roast as to why, it's a two-parter as to why your team won't win the Stanley Cup. And this is what I wrote about the Buffalo Sabres. I said, let's be real here. Buffalo isn't winning because, well, they're the Buffalo Sabres. From the league's longest running playoff drought to Stanley Cup champions, I'd rather take my chances on the lottery than put any stake in the game for this infamous club. Tage Thompson hums the tune of a one-hit wonder, and the rest of the group presents itself as a feeder team to genuine contenders. Kind of like the Rockies are here in Colorado. They're like, your negative metrics are terrible, but you play in Buffalo and you score goals. So let's see if it works. That's how the rest of the league looks at Buffalo.
The Rockies are a minus 327 run differential.
It's historic. The Rockies are doing something historic this season.
Hey, they walked off the Dodgers when I was there on Monday, so I'll take that.
And they won against the Dodgers again tonight or last night, so.
Well, since we're getting a little bit more lighthearted, I have some funny things that I want to talk about. So one of the things is the Avalanche are doing, they do their themed nights. They have the Grateful Dead night, the Star Wars night, all these things. They're doing, and I didn't know about this book, and we don't have to talk about what the book's about or whatever, but the Fourth Wing saga or whatever it is, it's a series of books. They're doing a Fourth Wing night at Ball Arena. And when they put the tickets up for sale, it crashed their ticketing system.
Mm-hmm.
And
my wife tried to get tickets.
Exactly. This will be the most widely attended, female-attended Avalanche game in the history of time. And it is, in fact, against the Buffalo Sabres, which I think is kind of a smart little ploy. because maybe people wouldn't go to that game otherwise.
Well,
Brandon,
so here's the funny thing is, so she tried to get tickets, and it's through this like weird website that's not associated with Ticketmaster or something like that, or it is, but it isn't.
it is, but it
And
isn't. Yeah.
yeah, and so I guess so they can like divvy up the proceeds to the charity that Rebecca Yaros is going through, and so she can get some of the money, and so the Avalanche can get some of the money. It's so like everybody gets their share of the pot, you know, and 30,000 people were in the queue to get tickets for 300 tickets.
Yes. Yes.
And it's
Wow.
a special edition burgundy colored book that is like this color.
Yeah.
And then and my wife's already got the book, but she was like, and it's a VIP option, so you can go get it autographed by Rebecca Yaros. So it's like awesome. I'm just like, okay, but I mean, whatever. And then she's like, and it's a really cool jersey with the Avalanche logo. I'm like, that I'll take.
Yeah.
I don't care. But
How much was it, by the way? I never saw.
I think
price.
she was talking that she was saying it was like 175 a ticket.
Yeah.
And
That's my
Even to get the
experience.
jersey and everything.
the jersey, the book, an
It's all in it,
autograph,
yep.
Yeah, it's not bad.
the ticket, and then of course you know you were at the game
Meet
and all
and
that
greet.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a meet
And
greet
the hockey, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
the hockey
and
will be
well,
there
and,
too.
and of course, this Rebecca Yaros, I guess she lives in the Springs. She's a huge
Yeah.
Avs fan. My wife's got all her books, and yeah, that
I wonder how it came about. I wonder if it was even her idea, because I don't really put it to the Avs to think of this, especially since they haven't been off the Grateful Dead in 20 years. They
Yeah.
haven't thought of anything else. So I highly
I mean-
doubt that they just had like this super, current idea to do this.
I don't
I
know,
wish
Jackie.
they would do
I'm
more.
starting
Maybe
to
they have a Gen
feel-
Z intern.
Well, no.
But to convince
They
well,
have-
I think they have a
do
new
it.
social media person.
I think it
It's a
has a
little
lot to
crossover
do with
content for
that
Ezra.
Yaros lives in Denver. I think that has a lot to do with it. But hey, if they
Well, and she's already announced they're doing it next year.
yeah, that's good. Maybe make more so that
Yeah, more than 300 next time.
Yeah,
because
and
people
then
can partake.
but here's the problem:
tick-
is my wife she would get into the queue. She'd have the ticket like in her cart, and then she would have it. She'd hit pay for ticket, and then it would spin, and then
Yeah.
it'd say ticket no longer or seats are no longer available.
Yeah, so I spoke to a ticket rep because, of course, my loving wife, who, mind you, on our first date, she walked into the bowling alley with a Colorado Avalanche shirt on, so I was doomed. She's a big Avs fan, but she's not usually a big enough fan to like get in my ear right when the tickets and ticket days are announced or game days are announced. This year was a little bit different. She's like, "Hey, when do you get the tickets?" And I'm like, why are you asking me this? Like, who the hell are you? Are you really excited for this upcoming season? Well, I got the full gist, and the season ticket holders, we didn't get an email for this offer, which they had their whole email system changed right when they did this. So I called the ticket rep, and from the ticket rep's mouth, he said that the site crashed and they sold out faster. Obviously, the tickets available for playoffs, there were more of them. But he said we sold out faster of this theme night than we did of the first round of the playoffs last year.
Yeah. And then my wife actually checked resale sites, and they
Yeah.
were already on resale sites for thousands
Mm-hmm.
of dollars.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for fourth wing night. I mean, single gentlemen, if you aren't hearing this as a call to maybe just buy yourself one ticket to fourth wing night.
I didn't know it was
just-
like a female only thing.
It's not
Well,
a female.
It's not.
It's not, but I'm just saying the demographic for who reads that book is largely female.
Female.
And
yeah.
so-
and my wife keeps telling me, she's like, you need to read them. And I'm like, when?
Yeah, my wife's mad that I'm not a freaking dragon, I guess. I don't know. It's something. But that's just something funny that I saw. But Jackie, I was just about to say, like, I don't know, like I kind of feel like maybe new leadership in the Avs our Kroenke administration, because I know a couple years back they kind of changed a couple of things. Have a new face who's kind of, I can't remember what his name is. I'll have to look it
We'll
up.
see if they have any other idea. Because I still think they're doing.
Well, that's
cool
what I was
stuff
just
this
about
year.
to tell you, is that they did, and they've executed this other idea, in my opinion, more effectively, which is the Altitude Plus app. Now, on the Altitude Plus app, you can multicast. So you can watch the Avs and the Nuggets at the same time on one screen when they're playing simultaneously, and it will have DVR capabilities. So if you're an Altitude Plus subscriber, you can watch the last night's game back and confirm your ideas, or maybe watch it through a new scope and feel like maybe I was just being a passionate fan and angry at nothing last night when they lost. But that's something.
Who still needs
Go ahead.
Altitude Plus? They're on TV again. Do we need
I
Altitude
mean,
Plus?
You need it. They're not
It's
on
on
TV in the local Denver area in certain instances, and that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, so I have Comcast, but I'm not willing to upgrade.
Yeah,
because they're on a higher package.
So you're available, but it's It's costs money either way.
Yeah, it's gonna
you could get
they're
that
on
or
the
that.
highest. They're on the highest package that you have to get in order to get it, because Comcast raised their prices to do it. So.
Well,
I think
I
it's
want to refer.
standalone. It's the sports and entertainment package.
Well, what about Ezra and Evan? You guys are now our out of townies. So,
Yeah.
how does this apply to you guys? Like Ezra, are you an Altitude Plus guy, or are you?
No,
Are you?
I don't need it because I pay for the NHL,
Sure.
or I mean I pay for ESPN, so I watch everything that's on ESPN, and then almost all the games are on ESPN, and when they're not, I cheat.
It's the pirate's life for the.
I was gonna say, I think Altitude Plus, like I think I remember when my dad came out and tried to watch a game out here on Altitude Plus, you just can't because you're not like in the region or what.
That's right. I think
Gotcha.
It is only for
So I mean, I don't have anything particular to add, to the scenario, and again, I'm fortunate enough that my father lets this broke college student have his ESPN Plus subscription, so I can watch the games
Sick.
except when they're in Buffalo, which is fine because I'll be at the Buffalo games whenever they're here anyway. So, yeah, I don't really have anything to say, but I mean, it sounds like a good adaptation. I guess it probably comes a little bit late.
Improving and adding features is nice.
Well, that's my point. Is like they're not just like putting something out and being like, "Look, we did it. Now leave us alone." Like they're actually actively trying to improve this product, and that kind of speaks to my point. It's like I'm hoping that the Avs with this fourth wing night and just these other things, Altitude Plus getting updated. They're apparently going to update the facilities. I'm hoping that they start to turn a corner and they start to realize, like in a modern way, that their fans are very important to furthering the brand, and doing things like this to with lack of a better term, cater to the fans, is smart. And more access for your fans equals more fanaticism, and that's what's best for growing your brand. So I think the more they can lean into these sort of things, like I'm excited about it. I hope they keep updating. I'm just pumped because like you're gonna be able to watch Nikola Jokic, shoot a triple double and McKinnon hit a Mac trick on one screen. It's possible. It could happen in one night. So and you can just be flipping back and forth. Yeah. Well, let's get back to the hockey because we've seen some of the guys. Show up to informals. And while I have your attention, folks, please give everyone here you see a follow and give us a follow on X at all caps MHH_lab and at Mile High Hockey. Check out our full catalog of podcasts. This is our 110th episode. Everything is available on Spotify podcasts and Apple podcasts. Go check us out there. But informals, new people, lots more people. Brandon, what have you seen?
There's people skating.
Wonderful. And there you have it, folks. That's it from it.
Be more specific on that front because
you didn't ask specifics. No. Let's see. So I wasn't there today because I needed to be here for the start of this, but Badarkov showed up for the first time today. I did post a video that was sent to me by a buddy that looks like he's got some speed that goes down the middle, but I don't expect Badarkov to make the opening night roster.
I do.
You do? I mean, he's one of like what 6 or 7 centers that are going to be on the roster. So
Promises. I mean, he might not be guaranteed forever, but
No.
I think for the optics reasons, I think he's the one that kind of needs it to satisfy optics. And then if Bednar's over it for like 10 games, they could make a switch. But like he told a Russian media outlet that he was told he's not going to play in the AHL. So
Really?
Yeah, just like every other Russian says
Well,
that. So
and then you wonder why they leave.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
So I
every
would
Russian is
expect- I
told
don't
that, in my
know.
opinion. But
Well, I mean, yeah, to get them to sign.
Because you got to get him across the pond, man.
yeah, it's him under contract.
I mean,
'Cause-
I don't think it's 100% guarantee, but it's like really his to lose, at least to start.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they'll cycle through all of them again, but like they have so many more reasons to satisfy that and just try Badarkov first and then see how it goes.
yeah, it was kind of like Little Z that he came over and I think played like half the season with the Eagles. Never broke the Avs season.
I think he made it to November.
Yeah, he made it to mid-December, and then they terminated his contract and he went back over to the KHL in 22. But I think he was one of those ones that they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna play in the NHL. Come on over.
Come on over. Yeah.
He was a little bit younger.
And smaller.
I wasn't quite because he was also like a drafted prospect, but
So we
But,
initially saw it was Burnsy, Middlestat. Excuse me. Oh my God,
God,
Freudian
no.
slip. Middleton, Gerard, and Nelson.
Whoa.
Those were kind of the guys who were kind of hanging out. Some people brought up, like, hey, how come Gerard didn't get invited to whatever Mikko Rantanen and Nathan McKinnon and Gabe Landeskog and Eric Johnson are all out on the beach?
You want to know what that was? McKinnon's wedding.
Yeah. So
And I
Tea
haven't seen
spilled.
anything from the wedding. Was there an NDA or something?
Oh, there's been stuff from the weddings to include Eric Johnson chasing people around with a live
With a
lobster.
lobster.
Well, that's Eric
Yeah.
Johnson, but that wasn't the
Yeah,
wedding.
and I have a
so-
feeling that Gerard is avoiding cameras, like at all costs.
Uh,
Well, I mean,
That's-
Done a nice
DJ's
job, or-
phone. I wouldn't say
I was
camera.
gonna say, it sounds more like Mikko Rantanen should be avoiding documentation.
He is.
Yes, Evan.
Well, I was going to say we haven't talked about one person in particular who just showed up, and it's Ezra's jersey behind him is
Yep.
Landeskog. He
Oh,
just showed
great.
up like a day or two ago, right,
Well,
Brennan?
Yeah, so I'm trying to limit the stuff that I post as in terms of live video of him because of reasons, but he was there for the first time yesterday and he seemed pretty comfortable. There was no hesitation, so he was doing pretty well. He went down to a knee. He was doing everything that everyone else was doing. Him and Nelson were skating a lot together, so I see them skating on the same line. But Nelson was the only other forward there that was an Avalanche. The Prashipov and Bradley were the other forwards that were there.
Well,
that-
I also bring it up because I think in our last episode someone mentioned like watching Landeskog, like when will he be back? And
Yeah, that was Jackie
one.
brought up.
Yeah, it was good. It's good to see that he showed up because definitely think that he should be there to kind of set the tone.
Yeah, no more of the secret skates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let's be out in the open because if you're secret skating, you're secretly scaring the hell out of me. So let's
Well,
keep
and
it
I know he
normal now.
saw that I was there, so because he like made like this weird, it was this awkward direct eye contact with me, and I was just sitting at a table that was up in the stands trying to like write an article. I wasn't even really filming him or anything like that, so he knows I was there. But
So what you're saying is that you got
I
the
may
Gabe
have scared him
Landeskog
off.
stink eye. You
Yeah,
the
I
stink eye
got a
little bit.
stink eye as he was like doing this with his glove.
He's like, great, Brennan's here. That's exactly
But
he
like
how
you
I
doesn't-
feel
said,
every
there
time.
should be no reason to be secretive. It's just him, like any other Av that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to
I mean,
skate and get ready
I
for
took
the
the still
season.
picture, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to respect his privacy as in terms of his rehab and getting healthy again. And
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, like the practices are open to the public. He's either healthy or
Yeah.
he's not.
Well, this isn't a rehab skate. It's I'm with my teammates getting ready for the season.
Exactly.
So I don't see how that's anything.
Well, he did a few of those last year too. So,
Yeah, and I think
I mean,
kinda
not beginning of the year.
taking it back to an overall hockey sense here, like this is obviously a good sign that, like, unless something drastic happens, that like he should be all right, good to go. I know that that's kind of been the mantra that's been said by the team and the organization and Landeskog, of course, for the last few months, especially after the season ended. But I mean, I think there were still some uncertainties. I think there definitely could still be some now from some fans, but I think that this is a good sign. Middle of August, you still got a little ways to go until preseason and training camp get underway, and then of course the actual start of the season. So it's very encouraging, to say the least. At least in my opinion, this is very encouraging to see that like, there is seemingly nothing off or wrong, and that it's going to be sort of getting back to business for Landeskog as he tries to start playing a full 82 game season again, rather than 5 of the hardest games
82 plus, hopefully.
So
yeah, 82 plus at least 16, hopefully.
Well, and I think he'll get at least one preseason.
Well, they all should, really.
Yeah. Well, so am I interpreting this right? The preseason games are at the DU facility this year.
So so they do the training camp 18th through the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the 21st, they do a split squad between Utah against Utah.
Oh, okay.
And one of
Gotcha.
them happens to be at Magnus, and it's at 2:30. Utah is the home team.
Gotcha.
Which makes
that's
no
the
sense.
mammoth to you, sir.
Yeah, whatever. Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah.
The made-up team in Mormon land.
I roasted
so the
them
Avs
too.
will still have 3 at their own home.
Okay,
Technically,
that makes sense.
yeah, they're gonna have 3 at their home, and then they don't have to travel for Magnus. I mean, it's just 20 minutes down the road.
Nice.
And then at 6:30, they play at Ball Arena that night. So with players who didn't play in the 2:30 game.
Are we a little surprised that since they obviously needed to find a host for this at quote unquote at Utah game, they didn't do it in Loveland? Like, isn't this something they should be doing? They've never done this. Wouldn't that have been the perfect opportunity?
I have heard some talk that there was going to be a game in Loveland. I don't know what may have happened to fall that through, but I don't think they'd have trouble selling tickets. And it could be capacity, could be convenience, because of the fact that they're doing it against Utah, and Utah's playing that night against them. So it's like, well, bus them down the road. 20 minutes down the road instead of 2 hours up the road. So,
yeah, not a lot of people. I mean, it's definitely easier than the trip from San Antonio used to be. But like the Loveland to Denver thing, it's not like a quick. It's like a plane ride to California.
Well, I mean, other teams do it. Like, I'm not just saying like, oh boy, like this would be great. Like other teams do. I think 4 AHL arenas are hosting NHL preseason games this year.
Yeah, I know Bakersfield is doing one for Edmonton's game. For Edmonton, usually Coachella Valley does one, which is Seattle's feeder. So Seattle they don't even play in the same state.
I wonder if that's more of like, here's an opportunity for you fans of team far away from team to see the big team, because like in Loveland, those people can go to Denver. It's 2 hours, right?
Yeah. Well,
well, they keep trying to like link the two. I think it was more of a marketing opportunity because the fan base is different up there. Like sure, you could get in a car and drive down. It's not like a vacation, but they keep saying that it matters to them, kind of like having this partnership, but do they really ever do anything to show that it's a partnership? Not really.
I mean, they pay them.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
get
not
you.
a partnership. That's
Yeah.
it's salary.
Well,
So actually, the Eagles are independent. They're
right. Yeah, they're not owned
they're
by,
in a sense like, so any of the players that are on two-way contracts are paid by the Avalanche, but Martin Lind operates the team.
Sure,
Mhm.
sure.
And they're one of like two teams that I think are two or three teams in the AHL that do that. Chicago used to be one of them. And we saw how that happened with the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Because the Chicago Wolves just kind of gave the finger to the Carolina Hurricanes and said, "Yeah, no, not
We're
gonna
good,
work."
thanks.
and
Well,
then they
let's get back
to be the worst team in the league.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
They learned their lesson.
Let's talk a little bit about something that there's a few things that I just thought of like just now that are interesting that we haven't touched on. One of the things that was like really eye-opening to me, I don't know if you guys saw this graphic on X, but it had Nathan McKinnon's career so far and Joe Sakic's career so far, or I mean career up to, I think it was like 700 and the exact same amount of 700 games, and their statistics were like eerily similar through that time frame. Now, keep in mind, later on in the games after for Joe Sakic is when we started to see a little bit of the teetering, but I mean, he was still Joe Sakic for most of that time. When you look at Nathan McKinnon and you look at Joe Sakic, the parallels, are they just in the numbers, or what sort of things do you see from the two of them that they have in common that kind of like make you excited for what Nathan McKinnon has in front of him still? Evan, you haven't talked a lot today. Let's hear from you.
I don't know if I've seen
You
this
either,
graphic.
Ezra. You're next.
I might have seen it in passing, maybe at like the airport.
I'll find it right now.
It's it's so spooky because they have the exact same number of games played and the exact same number of points. It's just
I think
McKinnon
one
actually has more
goals.
assists and Sakic has more goals, but it's pretty crazy that the exact same number of games up to this point, the same number of points.
Wow!
But you say it's just Sakic's Avalanche career, so obviously doesn't count.
Okay, so they have the same amount.
Oh, that's interesting.
Less goals, more assists for McKinnon. Okay, no, that's really neat. That's obviously, I mean, we know how great those two players are, right? I think it's safe to say now that as long as McKinnon doesn't pull a Mikko Rantanen and get shipped off by the organization, that his number will go up in the rafters. And I think that these stats I think kind of back that up pretty well. The thing I think that I am interested in is, and this is probably just because I wasn't born when this happened with Joe Sakic for the most part, was when he got to 870 games played. Like, how old was he? Because McKinnon is what, 20?
Well, this is his.
Thanks
so that
for
would
making
be
me
the
feel
end.
old.
We're talking about his Avs career, so that would have been Sakic's last game.
Oh, so that's his entire Avalanche career. Sakic's entire Avalanche career was 870 games, which is the same number of games McKinnon has played currently.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is
okay. So that I'm wrong about what I said about like it being a window.
Well,
this is every game.
I mean, yeah, you don't have Sakic's early, so like what you said, this is Sakic's later career, so you have to take that into account. But this also doesn't have his early career, so you have McKinnon's early career. So I think those two things balance it out because we're probably going to assume at the end of McKinnon's career he's going to experience a little bit of a decline.
Sure.
But then McKinnon has his, the years before he really broke out baked into this too.
Yeah, I mean, what I hope they have in common at the end of the day is that they both have won multiple Stanley Cups. That's this is spooky though. Like when you do the exact amount of points in the exact same amount of games, it's like history repeats itself. And if that's the case, then we should expect a cup to come was it 4 or 5 years
5.
between cups? 5 years between cups. So 2026,
27.
27, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, that's when we should really see if the spookiness comes through. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was the NHL has been releasing their top whatever lists.
Oh,
And we
God.
saw Cale Makar was the number 1 defender. Shock and surprise. You could have looked at who won the Norris 2 times in a row to determine that for you. But they once again have Nathan MacKinnon at number 2 behind Mr. Connor McDavid. I guess my question is, and this could be the last thing we talk about because I know we're getting close to the end, but what does Nathan MacKinnon have to do to be considered better than Connor McDavid, the guy who's only won a compensatory Conn Smythe?
Change his name to
When
Connor
he didn't win the
McDavid.
cup.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I think if you are being objective about it,
how dare you expect that from me?
he shouldn't expect that. If he has a longer career and a longer peak career, sure, yeah. But Connor McDavid is a physical freak. Nathan MacKinnon is too, but Connor McDavid is like, he is so good at hockey. He is the best hockey player of this generation. I don't think there's really a question.
I don't think so. I think there's a super elite tier, and I think that they both belong on that tier. But the whole like greatest player in the world thing, and that it's undisputed, I think is BS.
I agree with that.
He's amazing. I'm not saying McDavid's not amazing. He is, but to the degree where he's without a doubt a rung above MacKinnon, I think that's just wrong. That's just it's the media serving a narrative, because like what Adrian's going to say, you didn't win a cup, you didn't do some of these other things, that's not all his fault, but you also had the chance to. Your team was there, and
twice
you didn't
in a
do
row
it for your team.
Yeah.
So
and in game 5 you guaranteed a win, and were turned into Mikko Rantanen's an impression of Mikko Rantanen going ghost in the most important game of the season.
So I've always hated that whole like, oh, he's just the greatest and he's on his own tier. Like I said, I just think the media wants that because it's a story. It's easy for them. We saw that when he won the Conn Smythe. But what can MacKinnon do to change that perception? That's tough. I think, like you said, McDavid's going to have an earlier decline. He's going to have to be, without a doubt, statistically inferior for people to change their minds. But it's just it's a narrative, and that's why he's there. Which
McDavid is good, so I don't think the statistical gap will exist. It's just interesting to me because, like, we're talking, and this is interesting fact. This is the 8th straight year Connor McDavid was named by the NHL as the top forward in the NHL. So he's been the best forward for almost a decade now. And I, for one, think that you should maybe slide down that list if you're as close as he's been to winning a cup and you haven't done it, compared to the one time MacKinnon had a chance in the final, he sealed the deal. And I think team success does matter as it pertains to assessing an individual player, because especially when you look at MacKinnon, he's the one who's, I mean, of course, Jared Bednar's the head coach, but MacKinnon, as we know, is the one who really sets the expectation for him and for the rest of his team. And I think that is, albeit doesn't show up like Connor McDavid skating up the middle of the ice untouched, looking like a freaking ice ballerina while he does it, sure. But it's still something that adds to what MacKinnon brings to the table. And I think it's what makes him, in my mind, the guy I'd rather build my team around, is because it's not just what you get on the ice. It's what you get in terms of leadership and in terms of a mindset. And that, to me, of all of the sports to not value that, to me, hockey is the weirdest one. That's why I kind of am with Jackie. Like, it feels nearly agenda-based. I mean, he is in Edmonton. Evan, what are your thoughts on this?
Like, I understand. I get it. And I think, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it will change. I think it's just kind of how it is. He's always kind of had that hype coming in, especially from being the first overall draft. And so did MacKinnon. But, I mean, McDavid was, 2 years after MacKinnon? right? Something like that. So I guess McKinnon kind of got overshadowed by that to some extent. Honestly, to me, fine. Let that be. Just let McDavid do his thing and let him do all that. And just look at the Stanley Cups. Look at how things have gone between head to head with those two. Like, I think the stats speak louder than, I guess, rankings. I guess. There was another determination though. There was not another determination. There was another stat thing not related to McDavid at all, and I don't think it was even the NHL that released it. It was like the best number 29, and someone put Draisaitl over McKinnon's number 29. Like, who's the best player that wears 29 in the league right now? And it's that one made me more upset. But
yeah,
I mean, he's good too.
Yeah,
like I think there's several players in the elite, super elite tier.
Sure.
Okay.
I think it's good to have a debate. Like, if you're debating between the merits of all these incredible players.
Who's the best 29?
I think that's. I mean, we know our answer, but
Flower.
No, for each
like
team
current
or
player.
for each
Sorry,
league, yeah.
current
for
player.
each number, like the best.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say Flower may top that on everyone, but okay.
Don't tell Vegas that.
I agree with what everybody said about off ice McKinnon and the career the Stanley Cup stats, but I just have to point out Connor McDavid's career points per game is 1.52. His best season he was at 1.87. In the playoffs, it gives me in wins and losses. It didn't give me just playoffs, but
he's a great playoff performer.
He's a great playoff performer. 1.95 in wins, 1.29 in losses. McKinnon, his average career regular season is 1.17, not as good. His peak season is 1.71, not as good. His career playoffs, 1.32.
I'd also like to see that 5-on-5, because I think that year that McDavid was almost 2 points a game. I think he had 90 power play points. I think it was like 90 power play points.
That's a lot. That's crazy. That's yeah. Well,
that'd be nice if McKinnon would run on the power play so much.
I'll challenge.
I agree. It's wonderful to have the debate, but Connor McDavid is so good.
Okay, so now let's do this with Ovechkin and Crosby. Who wins?
They're just so completely different. That's tough. That's.
Well, that's what I think. At the end of the day, I think it might settle in a similar vein as the way we look at Crosby as like the game's most prolific goal scorer who's won a cup. And you look at Sidney Crosby and you say that's probably the best all-around hockey player that has played in this era. And I think when the dust settles, especially if McDavid doesn't even win a cup, at the end of the day, they'll look at McDavid's career and they'll say, those stats are crazy. He was one of the most prolific offensive producers ever. And they will look at McKinnon's career and they will say, but that is what a complete hockey player, a career of a complete hockey player looks like. That's Mount Rushmore stuff. This is highlight reel on Saturday when NHL Network doesn't have anything on stuff.
And let me just clarify, like if the answer is McDavid, like what Ezra said, that's fine. I just saying have the debate. This whole like best player in the world, period. We're done talking. To me, that's insane.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, speaking of insane, we've got some bold predictions that we need to sort out. It's been a while since we made them. I'm going to talk about what we've had on the log because it's been a while. Evan, it says for you that Denver will announce their MWSL team and that a member of the Avalanche would congratulate them on social media. They did, in fact, announce, the Avs did, in fact, congratulate them, but they did not feature any players. Apparently, they were all at Nathan McKinnon's wedding, so it would have been kind of tough. You might have got some funny videos with lobsters involved if you were to do that. Jackie, you had Malinsky on a 5-year extension or traded along with Natchez, but we're giving you till
extension thing. Like I know he's signed. Like I know that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But
yes, the extension's out, but you had the training camp thing with the Natchez trade. Yes.
I still think that's hanging. Like I said, they do have enough players now, I guess, to start the season, but I don't know. I still feel like they can't think this is good enough. So we'll see. And the Natchez thing, we didn't even bring that up, that still hasn't been resolved. So until
Nope.
something gets resolved there, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just decide to YOLO it and they're just gonna let him walk. Who knows? But
Well,
I
I
still
hope they
feel
don't
like
YOLO it.
they're. I mean, isn't that kind of their plan, YOLO? But,
Yeah.
I still
Jackie's
feel like
getting with
that's
all the
that's
verbiage.
hanging there. But,
Jackie, are you sure you're not a meme person now? With your
YOLO's
YOLO.
been around since I was a child, so.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I will have a new bold prediction that Kiviranta is going to play on McKinnon's wing, not as a broken line change, not because there's injury, because they actually do it.
We didn't run our sponsor, by the way.
Who?
We'll do that here in a second, Jackie. So
Who's
yeah,
playing?
saves.
But I'll just put that out there that my new one. So the
Okay.
Walensky getting traded with net chest thing, that one's still out there. And then my new one is Kiviranta is going to play on McKinnon's wing this year.
Like Drew and Junior. All right, Brendan,
Like
you had
regularly?
Brendan, you had Steinberg makes the opening night roster, so we'll see about that. Ezra, you had a former Shark on a PTO. I'm not gonna buzz you yet.
No,
Because
that's still
No, that's
happening.
not a PTO. Gushkin's not a PTO.
Oh no, okay. So, but we'll see. I'm gonna leave that one
Well, I
open.
mean, yeah, they could sign PTOs still. We're
And I had
definitely not
Natchez-
done with that.
No,
That
I had
can
Natchez on
happen
a
up until night
5-year, $10.88 million contract. So let's roll our sponsor reel and let's get yours this week. Yay, 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 yay.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I call that bold talk.
All right, this is Bold Predictions brought to you by Brews Ale House in Pueblo, Colorado. Please head on down. They are located on the Pueblo Riverwalk. They have a bunch of delicious beverages, ton of delicious food as well. It's a great time for the family. They've got outdoor seating, indoor seating. They have music events. Head on over to their website, brewsalehouse.com, and you will see all of their upcoming events, some of the specials they have on their menu, and a delicious selection of house-made beer, baby. So let's get our bold predictions brought to you by Brews. Jackie, let's start with you because you said yours already. You said that Kiviranta will play on McKinnon's wing. Give us one reason why you think that.
Because they'll have to. I mean, O'Connor played on his wing. That's not even bold in my mind because, I mean, was it going to be plan A? No, but I think they'll be forced to at some point.
Do you mean like one shift or like
No.
regular?
No, I said not a broken line change or because someone got injured during the game. Like they intend and begin a game that way.
Like on the lineup card, he'll be there.
I mean, I hate going by the stupid Twitter card because it's not even right most of the time. So I don't know if I want to limit it to it has to be on the Twitter card, but I mean,
if we see him roll out, who's the? Yeah, I see what you mean.
So like
we could
the
do it by the
first
eye.
shift of a game, Kiviranta will be the wing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not trying to find a technicality like, oh, it's just one shift. No, I mean like
no,
the
I know. I'm just
intent
trying to
that
like
he plays. Like, how are we going to count it?
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. I mean, I guess we could say the Twitter card is probably the best way to quote unquote prove it. Or
I like both. We'll do a combination of the Twitter card and the eye test because we'll see who rolls out. I like it. We'll see about it. Brandon, what do you got for me this week?
I'm still thinking.
All right, Evan, what do you got for me this week?
Yeah, I get a good one. I don't think it'll make fans happy, but I think it's definitely plausible. Eric Johnson's still been around the team, hanging out, doing his thing, whatever. I think he gets signed to a PTO. I don't think a contract. I think a PTO.
I think you might.
Would they do him like dirty like that? I mean,
yeah, that's kind of dirty, man.
Do you really sign a guy to a PTO that was actually like on a contract with you the previous year?
I mean, it's not the same, but they did this to Jack Johnson, right? Wasn't he a PTO?
Yeah. Okay. Jack Johnson also didn't play 14 years with the team.
But
he did win a cup with them, though.
Originally PTO, but then after that, like the year after that, he was with Chicago, and then the year after that, they signed him. I think they just signed him. But I know that people are wondering about EJ, so I mean, I think that is an interesting prediction. But the thing is, like, they already have 4 right-handers. how does that work? Or we
I
just
think that's why he gets signed, because then they can try and squeeze him in somewhere else on the left side, or God forbid on the fourth line on a wing. So
Yeah, and that also eliminates the fact that
Hell
they
yeah.
need Keaton Middleton, but that eliminates the grit if Manson's hurt.
I could see him as a PTO just to be like, hey man, come to practice, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
it is.
eventually be
I
an
agree. It
assistant
is
coach.
interesting, but I do
Just
remember
hang
they
out with
almost
the
had to
boys.
Yeah.
kick him out last year. Remember he was
Yeah.
there like into September, and people were like,
Yeah.
"You need to go to Philly. Like it's time."
Yeah.
I have to.
I
I
think
have
he'll
to.
be there. I think he'll be there. I like this prediction.
Nice. I dig it too. Ezra, what's yours?
I'm gonna say it's a season-long one. I think Colton spends more games at center than wing.
All
Yeah.
right.
If not, nothing significant changes. I could see that.
Yeah, I
think it
agree.
makes sense. I think the wing
you're-
experiment for him worked, and that's great. But he needs to be a center to justify.
I think if you're gonna play anyone and do what I say you shouldn't do and play a winger at center, it's got to be him.
Well, but
I
he
don't
also
really look at
his career has been a mix of wing and center, so he's
Sure.
not really like it's not like putting Victor Olofsson at center.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
I dig it. I think for my bold prediction, I will say that although the Avs are at 23 of 23, I think that they'll make another trade before let's see, camp. Let's say camp start before camp starts.
Well, yeah, they need picks for next year.
I'll say for a player though. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's make it a little more bolder. Yeah. For a
I think they
for a
need
player.
to, but I guess at this point, do they have enough runway to do it?
Yeah,
We'll see.
agreed. Brandon?
I say LOC is back by November 11th, Veterans Day.
That'd be a quick turnaround.
No, that's bold.
But it's good to see him. He's out there for the
hearing
informals.
10 to 16 games.
Really? Okay. That's good to know. LOC out for 10 to 16 games. That clear picture of that window might be informing some of the Avalanche's decisions as of late as well.
And that is also informing all our fantasy hockey players.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you should have LOC on your fantasy team unless
He's good for hits. If you
Shot blocks.
Well, and don't you get
shot
points
blocks
for
and
grit per
hits.
60?
Huh?
Don't you get points for grit per 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish. Then I'd be awesome.
I get points for Vaguely had chicken salads per 60. Vaguely, are you working on a chicken salad Sammy right now, dog? Let us know if you are. Vaguely's in the chat. We got Anthony Pacino in the chat. Thank you all for joining us today on this 110th edition of the Mile High Hockey Lab. I think we'll end it here unless one of the four of you have anything else we haven't touched on. No? Looks good. All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. There's about 831 of you tuned in live right now. Pretty good for an off-season episode. We appreciate you. The show does what it does because you folks tune in. The fact that you folks have tuned in has enabled us to get sponsors and keep the gang together, and that's really what this is all about for us. So thank you folks very much. Please head on over to milehighhockey.com where you can see everything we've got going here in the future. The website got a little bit of an update. There's a cool feature called the feed now where you can write in your own fan article. Know that they are moderated, however. And, of course, please head on over to Hockey Mountain High to check out anything that Evan Liu and Brennan Vogt are working on. We appreciate you folks. On behalf of my esteemed colleagues, Ezra Parter, Evan Liu, Jackie K, and Brendan Vogt, my name is Adrian Hernandez, and thank you for tuning in to the Mile High Hockey Lab. Until next time, go Avs.
Thank you for tuning into the Mile High Hockey Lab.